Hey, guys, welcome back and happy Saturday. Guys, it's Halloween weekend, so I just want to say happy Halloween to everyone. I hope you guys have a safe weekend. Be careful, be safe out there. There are some real creeps. You never know who you're going to encounter. Most importantly, drive safe, check your candy, and lock your homes. Honestly, especially with everything going on in the world right now, people are so desperate. So I'm just wishing you guys a safe holiday. Well, I was going to say holiday weekend, but Halloween weekend, even though it's kind of a holiday, but you guys get what I'm saying. All right. Well, we're back to talk about the fact that the victims of Erika Girardi's husband, Tom Girardi, are rushing to court to now fight over $11 million. This news has just came out because apparently the trustees are trying to bring in a very expensive attorney, and they are like, no, ma'am, that's not going down that way. So with that, guys, before we give you all the details, go ahead, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed, and don't forget to hit that notification bell because, well, you don't want to miss anything we have coming up. With that, let's jump right in.
It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
All right, guys, so it looks like the battle over the Girardis' remaining millions, well, it's heating up as the creditors are fighting to get paid. Now, according to court documents obtained by Radar Online, Joseph Gomez, who is owed $11 million from Tom Girardi, is objecting to a high-priced lawyer being brought on to investigate Girardi's lenders. Okay. Obviously, we know if you've watched The Housewife and The Hustler, Rui Gomez was represented by Girardi in a lawsuit against PG&E. He suffers burns over 90% of his body, and it was after a 2010 pipeline explosion. So this was a gas pipeline. This is horrific. He lost his girlfriend in the explosion. It was really, honestly, watching the documentary, it was heart-wrenching. But the now disbarred attorney scored the massive settlement, but failed to pay out a dime. Well, eventually they did get paid $1 million out of the $12 million that, was owed to them. But $1 million out of $12 million, well, that's a big difference, especially because he has a lot of medical bills. He needs this money to survive for the rest of his life. And Tom Girardi allegedly told him, let me put this in a high interest account for you. Let me let your money make money. You're not used to having money like this, so I'll help you, while allegedly scamming them. This is garbage. Now, as a part of the Girardi's bankruptcy, the Rui Gomez family is fighting to collect the money that is owed. Recently, the trustee presiding over the Chapter 7 bankruptcy asked the court for permission to hire a San Francisco law firm to look into whether the lenders have information about Girardi loaning $25 million to Erika Jane. Well, Rui Gomez says the firm's fees are excessive, $975 an hour, and would not be in the best interest of the estate. He believes enough has already been spent on the professionals, including a forensic account. He's clearly aware there is only so much money that's going to go around and available, and wants to make sure that he gets his cut before it's all spent. A judge has yet to rule on the situation. This is such garbage, though, if you think about it. This poor guy who's suffering 90% of the burns on his body, watching the documentary, watching everything this man has gone through, this is pissing me off. You see that he's obviously going through it, and he's just now fighting everybody and their brother, sister, mother in order to get his pay cut. And he's not the only one. Widows, orphans, a ton of different victims are coming forward, and they're like, wait a minute, we want our settlements too. We got screwed out of our settlement. So I understand everybody's just as important in this, and it's really unfortunate and sad that all the victims are fighting to make sure that they get their money before the creditors and the lenders. Even though the creditors and the lenders gave over money to the Girardis too, so they're owed money, it just makes you think about it, because the victims, well, for the most part, they don't have any money. And I'm not saying, well, just because the creditors and lenders do have money, they shouldn't get any, but the whole situation is just horrific. We all know that Tom Girardi and Erika Girardi's world came crashing down when all of this came out, the LA Times article, and also when Jay Edelson from Chicago ended up announcing to a judge, bringing it forward to a judge in the court, that the widows and orphans of a plane crash, well, they didn't get any of their settlements. So the judge was like, hold on, wait a minute. No, we're freezing their assets. We're going to figure out how to get this money and what's going on. We're launching an investigation. That's when the LA Times article came out. And something that was funny about this is after I talked to Sarah from Andy's Girls and a few other people, we watched Erika Girardi on this past episode of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion, part 3 of the reunion, and we saw where some of the women wanted to know, did you have any inclination that the LA Times article would be coming out? She said, no, I don't have access to the press. I don't have access to an LA Times article. But what's odd about this is that the writers for the LA Times article said that they reached out to her PR and asked, does she have a comment on this? We would like to know what Erika has to say because we don't want to say anything that, she doesn't agree with. Can she comment on this article that we're writing? Well, if they reached out to her PR, then I'm sure her PR reached out to her and they were like, hey, wait a minute, there's a lot coming out right now. You need to be careful, dot your I's, cross your T's, whatever the hell they say, and just know that this is coming out. So if you're filming, you might want to get out of there until you can digest what's going on. That way you don't have to answer something that you don't know what it is and get caught off guard. And I think that's exactly what she did, even though she's denying it in the reunion. So obviously, and we get that, we see that, it's not all adding up still at the end of the day. We also know that the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 12 has picked up filming, and we're looking for a much lighter storyline this season. Of course, the cameras normally don't pick up this fast, but producers didn't want to miss anything going on with the Girardi scandal and how Erika is moving on with her life. From what we're hearing, we might see her storyline be a little bit more of a coming out on the other side of this sort of situation and potentially dating. I don't think that she would date on camera, but if she does, we'll be interested to see. And it's actually kind of nice that it will be a little bit lighter and it won't be all about the Girardi scandal, because like Zach Peters said, the whole season revolved around the Girardi scandal. So a lot of the other housewives storylines got cut down. We were all wondering, what are their storylines? What does Lisa Rinna have to offer? What does Dorit have to offer? What does Crystal have to offer? What is going on? Does anyone have a storyline except for Erika Girardi? And from what we're hearing, producers had to cut most of their storylines back because, well, Erika's situation took precedence, which makes sense. I mean, they still had 20 plus episodes of Erika Girardi in the Girardi legal scandal. So imagine if they added in everyone's storylines. It would have been even longer, and we didn't need that. But at the end of the day, I'm hoping this upcoming season will be a little less about Erika. We still want to know about the Girardi scandal, but a little bit less about Erika. And I hope the other women have some more interesting things going on. Obviously, we know that Dorit just suffered a home invasion, and that is horrific and tragic. And it happened the day before they were supposed to start filming. So I'm sure this will play into her storyline. And while some people said they don't know if Dorit will continue to film this season because of the horrific accident, or not accident, horrific invasion, let's call it that, by these 3 robbers, which hopefully they get caught. And we still haven't seen the LAPD statement, but I'm sure LAPD will catch them. I've heard it's a scam. I've heard so many different things. I don't necessarily believe it's a scam, but I do have a lot of questions, and I want to see the surveillance evidence of these guys entering the home, what they look like, what size they were, what they were wearing. I want to see it all, and I think we all want to see it all, just because she is a public figure, and this is a huge ordeal. So with that, guys, I want to know what you think about the Rui Gomez family rushing to the court, trying to get the trustee not to bring on this very expensive attorney who's charging $975 an hour for their services. What are your thoughts about that? What are your thoughts about Erika's storyline moving into the next season? And how do you feel about this whole home invasion situation? Do you also want to see photos, or are you waiting for the LAPD police report? Guys, I know you have all the opinions and I welcome them all. So go ahead, comment below. And before you go, don't forget to smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed, and don't forget to hit that notification bell, because, well, you don't want to miss anything we have coming up. With that, we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.